Hello again and welcome back to the mid-15th century, and now we find ourselves in the lower Malt Valley. Why is it called the lower Malt Valley? Why? Because over here at the outskirts of the village of Malt, where some of you may remember that Sir Henry Beaumont murdered Sir Edmund Telton in hand-to-hand combat, allegedly for the good of the Lancastrian cause and good King Henry VI. More likely it's because Telton apparently was sleeping with his ex-wife, but who knows the real answer. Anyway, today we're seeing three major hills. We've got Pickle Hill, we've got Thorn Hill, and over in the distance we've got Malt Hill. And more importantly, we've got Mill Stream running along round Pickle Hill, and this big valley, and this line of trees. Now this line of trees denotes an issue. The issue being, of course, that if it rains too heavily, this will become like Mill Stream, pretty swollen. So let's see who the combatants are today. So now it's time for deployments. So, over on the Malt end, coming out of the village, we've got all the Lancastrians of Sir Henry Beaumont. And coming in on this side of the valley, we've got all the Yorkists under Sir Edmund Telton's cousin, Sir Nicholas Telton. But we'll come back to him in a moment. So, what have we got? So, there's Sir Henry mounted on his horse. His second in command is Sir Philip de Lacy, this little man here, who's in charge of 1, 2, 3 units of foot knights and some prickers, scurriers, light cavalry, fast stabby gits. I don't know what you call those really, but there you go. They should cause a bit of an issue. And then in charge of his main household units is Sir Richard Head, this guy in gold, little knob on top. So these are all bill and bow units. 1, 2, and then 3 over here on the flank. In addition, the king has very kindly gifted Sir Henry with a unit of gunners, handgunners. So interesting to see how they go. And then facing them over there are the Yorkists. So we've got Sir Nicholas Telton. There he is, with his son, Sir Robert Telton, there. And Sir Robert is in charge of his father's men-at-arms, so there's his foot knights, more foot knights, just 2 units of those. But he's got some heavy mounted knights. And then we've got Sir Nelson Skipsey over here, and he's in charge of the household units, and they've got 4 units of bill and bow. So, let's see how it goes. So, turn 1, it's staying dry for the moment, and the Lancastrians won the toss. So, so Richard sent up 2 units of bill and bow in advance, but they weren't in range at the time, so couldn't get any shots off. He tried to get his handgunners up, that failed, and they've wandered into the river. Oops. As for de Lacy, didn't achieve anything, too far away for a re-roll, and just so all this reserve is staying reserved. The Yorkists, as you might notice, haven't gone very far. So we've got Sir Nelson Skipsey, old Skippy. He's advanced 1 unit of household, who advanced up, did get a shot off, and have caused casualties to the Lancastrians. That was it for him. And then as for Sir Robert, so Telton's son, he's brought up 1 unit of foot knights just behind the advance. He wanted to get the cavalry up as well, but they failed their roll. Didn't quite blunder, only got an 11. But so there we go. Turn 1. Turn 2, and it's starting to spit a little. So, the Lancastrians, what did you do? Well, Sir Richard advanced up Pickle Hill, got 2 units of bill and bow now in some sort of position. He got some shots off, which caused casualties in the centre of the Yorkists. He advanced his left flank up, and they got some decent shots off at this unit of Yorkists, who just decided to run off a little bit. So they ran through these men-at-arms. But we'll hold off that for the minute because, as you may notice, Sir Henry's having a word with de Lacy because none of his reserve has moved onto the field, and it's getting a bit frustrating now. We could have this whole thing filled up with Lancastrians, but it's not to be. Anyway, as for the Yorkists, well, Sir Robert Telton, because these guys had run through, left his men-at-arms free to charge in. They completely avoided the hail of arrows somehow, by God's grace, I suppose. And they're locked in combat, but there's a lot of men fighting in the centre here, so it's going to be a bit of a meat grinder. over here, they got a unit which entered the stream, but that's as far as they got. So that's Skipsy, isn't it? Yeah, Skipsy ordered that. But Skipsy failed every other order, which isn't great. So yeah, it's a bit of a stall for the Yorkists, and the rain is starting to come, which might prove a problem if it keeps raining, because for the moment it's the Lancastrians who've got the centre of the field. But let's see what happens next. Turn 3, what a mixed bag it was. So, Lancastrians. Sir Richard advanced onto Pickle Hill, got 2 units up there, plinking off some shots. Over here, now, yes, there was a unit of Bill and Bowman here, and it was going quite well for them at the start. So they were in locked in combat, and they managed to roll a load of good dice, and these guys rolled a load of bad dice, and they got pushed back and disordered. And then, of course, in the heat of the moment, the Bill and Bowman charged up behind them, hot on their heels. We'll come back to that. Over here, Sir Henry's still having a word with De Lacy, and so far the negotiations got as far as getting a single unit 6 inches closer to the front. Not great. Yeah, so as for the Yorkists, well, over here, Skipsy got this unit over. They've fired some shots into them at close range. Pushed these units up, more shots into this unit, so looks like Pickle Hill's going to be quite the skirmish in a moment. The back end, no movement. This cavalry playing cards, dice, I don't know what they're doing. D&D maybe, but they ain't going towards the battle. Again, same with these two, they seem to be hanging back. I mean, there's no great urgency for them to move, but it wouldn't hurt if they could follow at least one order. Over here then, well, these guys moved up. They got lost their disorder. Now, this battle. Now, I have never seen so many 6s rolled for one side and so many 1s rolled on the other in quite some time. So yeah, the Lancastrians charged up hot on the heels of these guys, who then promptly turned round and killed every man jack of them. So yeah, well done to them. So yeah, so that's the battle now. So it's drying up, it seems, but never say never. Yeah, so that was turn 3. Turn 4, what a turn. Well, for the Yorkists anyway. So it's staying dry for the moment. And so what have we got going on? Well, the Lancastrians, Sir Richard Head, wanted these troops to move up round this copse and attack these units, but didn't succeed. This unit on the edge of the hill is taking quite the pounding of arrows. This unit of handgunners advanced up, unloaded a full volley into these guys, who I'm guessing are immortal, or at least not scared of death. Had no effect on them whatsoever. So yeah, I don't know what's in that armour, but I'm hoping it's mortal. Yeah, and then over here, I'm guessing Sir Henry's face is as red as a Lancastrian rose, because De Lacy didn't move anybody. So he's doing more good for the Yorkists than the Lancastrians at this point, because this valley, which should be filled with Lancastrians threatening a Yorkist flank, isn't. And so the Yorkists hold all the cards. So, Felton, what have you been up to? Well, you anchored your right flank, you advanced your knights. That might not end well for them, but they've got rerolls. The cavalry, Sir Robert sent the cavalry up. I guess they finished their D&D campaign, and now behind these trees, ready to sweep into the open valley, which is completely void of enemy. Now, this Pickle Hill and Millstream, I'm guessing, all going well, the Yorkists will charge up and threaten this flank. And yeah, they got the men-at-arms up as well. So yeah, I think the Yorkists are ready to push the advantage now, unless De Lacy finally does something, but not looking too good for Sir Henry Beaumont at the moment. Turn 5, and what a turn it was. Yeah, this is why I wargame the Wars of the Roses. So, the Lancastrians, what did you do? Well, finally, combat here, big charge in. Now, their stamina values are 6, so if they hit that, that's not good. As you'll notice, both of them, very bloody combat. The Yorkists just tipping into shaken, but the Lancastrians are not far off. Hail of arrows into these guys has really weakened them, but thankfully the Yorkists got disorganised, or disordered, that's the word, got disordered, and so they couldn't cross over the Millstream to get them. So Pickle Hill, bit of a bloodbath. In the centre, volley of guns into the approaching men-at-arms, destroyed them. They broke, but they have a special rule, which once per game they can re-roll their break test, and they passed it. So they've had a reprieve, but they can only use it once. And De Lacy, I'm assuming that Sir Henry showed him Telton's testicles. I'm guessing he keeps them in a pouch on his person. Oh, that's a tongue twister. Yeah, so he's finally moved his 3 units of men-at-arms up, and his cavalry is swept to finally threaten the flank of the Yorkists. As for the Yorkists, big change in favour, really. So, not good. So, yeah, they managed to get... well, they're now engaged where they wanted to be, but not entirely. And they blundered everything. Genuinely blundered everything. So, the men-at-arms who were meant to come over the mill stream just swung to the right. And then in an attempt to do something with the household units, I wanted them to go and sort of face off against the cavalry. They just blundered straight ahead, and that was it. So yeah, not a great turn for the Yorkists, but yeah, we'll see what happens on turn 6. Turn 6, and the battle's taking shape. Yeah, so the Lancastrians, well, better turn for them. So they managed to repulse the Yorkists. Well, they managed to repulse the Yorkists on Pickle Hill, but they're in no shape to follow them up because they are overshaken now. This unit, well, they didn't quite cross the river, but they've also not been dislodged with arrows either. So this not looking too good for the Lancastrians if the Yorkists can get up there. Those knights borrowed time for them. Another volley finally wiped them out. And De Lacy now has got his troops on the flank. So 3 units of men-at-arms and his scurriers, prickers, light cavalry. I never know what to call them, but they're on the flank to threaten. The Yorkists, not such a good turn for them. Just not much manoeuvre really. Say didn't get over the stream. They're sort of just flanking each side of the wood. They did get at least 1 killing blow on these men-at-arms, so that's something. The cavalry, I wanted to get it more sort of charging. Well, it wasn't to be, so they've just come round the corner, so they hopefully will threaten next. And this reserve has not accepted an order the entire game, so yep, I sniff lanky. So there we go, turn 6. Turn 7, right, well, the ranks are starting to thin a bit now. So, the Lancastrians, what did they get up to? Well, Pickle Hill, the Yorkists stormed across Mill Stream, wiped out the defenders there. The remaining Lancastrians are now disordered and shaken. I don't think there's much hope for them holding the hill. The unit I smelled as being a bit fishy. They're actually... well, they took it to heart, turned around, fired some arrows. So they're obviously good guys for the Yorkists. No questions there. Over here, the Lancastrians charged in with their men-at-arms into the household levy, who took some casualties, but so did the men-at-arms, so they got repulsed. The Yorkists charged their men-at-arms into the handgunners, who evaded. They successfully evaded, but they couldn't outrun the metal-clad, heavily armed men-at-arms. So I'm guessing those guns are very heavy. And as for cavalry, well, the mounted men-at-arms charged, and the light cavalry attempted to evade, failed miserably, and took the full brunt of these heavily clad monsters, really. So they got absolutely wiped out. So the battle over here for the Lancastrians is... they've got some strength, and there's not much the Yorkists have got left to use over this way. I think Pickle Hill is currently a lost cause for the Lancastrians. This isn't going to end well for the Lancastrians, I don't think. So yeah, Sir Henry, well, I wonder what he's thinking right now. Turn 8, yes, and the rain's beginning to fall. Yeah, so battlefield's looking a little bit more sparse now, and it's looking particularly sparse for the Lancastrians. So, Pickle Hill, big fights up here, but there's no Lancastrians left, and this remaining unit of Yorkists looks pretty strong. The handgunners in the centre, they got wiped. The men-at-arms who were fighting up here got repulsed by a Yorkist flanking manoeuvre, and these Lancastrian men-at-arms turned to face the knights who charged through and now been charged. So yeah, so on the Yorkist turn, they took the hill. Well done to them. These two units worked together. It's a pretty good move for that unit. They've got something to prove. They swung in and to push them back. So they are shaken. The cavalry swung back and pushed them back. So this is now the follow-up attack. So that's probably not going to be too good for those Lancastrians. So yeah, the Lancastrians have lost one division, and if they lose at least 2 more units, they'll definitely lose the battle. That said, I don't think they've got much hope. I think Sir Henry Beaumont's going to lose Malt to the Yorkists now. They've turned up with purpose, but we'll see how it goes. Turn 9, quite the mess. So the Lancastrians, well, that's a Lancastrian unit. That is. They destroyed the Yorkist unit there. They also destroyed the Yorkist cavalry, but then they had to withdraw. So now they're actually back to back with the Yorkists who swung around after defeating those handgunners. I'm trying to work out what the proximity rule on that is, but I think it's fair to say next turn they'll just be fighting anyway, because it's the chaos of battle. That's what it is. These levy units, they're moving up. I don't think they're going to do particularly well against these 2 men-at-arms units. That said, however, they're not exactly looking great on numbers. So I don't know how this is going to work, or where this is going to end up. So yeah, it is getting wetter. So that valley is now it's one more roll, and this will become another stream. So this might be an absolute quagmire in a bit. But yeah, let's see what happens next. Turn 10, Bloodbath. Also, the valley's flooded. So yeah, rolled another one, and now there's so much water that it's flooded it. So yeah, don't think it's going to be a major issue now. The armies are so reduced. Speaking of which, so the Lancastrians, ding, ding, ding. 3 units of foot knights, all shaken. And they keep being repulsed by the Yorkist levy, but the Yorkists really don't have the quality of troops that the Lancastrians have remaining. So it's a toss-up between whether this unit can hold out and this unit's arrows can break this unit, or if this unit breaks due to the sheer volume of heavy metal gits charging it, if that breaks, then the Lancastrians then the Yorkists have definitely lost it. So it's a bit of a knife edge, really. And here's the two generals facing off against one another. So yeah, let's see what the next and probably last turn brings. Turn 11, and the Yorkists have lost. Sir Nicholas Thelton there couldn't do a lot because Henry basically told his forces, sweep round and just finish off that household levy of Yorkists. And they did. Smashed in, and then their old Snake Eyes, and with their reductions, they just fled the field, leaving only one unit left, which in a 2-division game means that it's all over, really. It should have ended sooner, but I wanted to see how this would go. So yeah, well done to Henry Beaumont. I don't think the Yorkists will be back anytime soon. You now control the lower Malt Valley. Yeah. Note on the flooded valley, yeah, I was using random dice rolls for those to see what would happen. If it had happened sooner, and with de Lacy's delays, I imagine it probably would have swung the other way, because trying to get heavily armed knights across a flooded valley would have meant that the archers would have been king, potentially, of the battlefield. But as it was, the rain held off, and Henry did manage to convince de Lacy to at least move, which is good. And here's all de Lacy's troops. So well done, Lancastrians won, and I hope you enjoyed it. I do enjoy a bit of Wars of the Roses. So see you next time. I wonder where we'll be. Ta-ra!